that. All right. Put this hair down because this is a topic that needs some... I'm here to talk about JBC, in short. Jangan benci cintaku. Jangan JBC. Jangan benci cintaku. Yeah. I just want to put it out there. I'm not a Malay drama kind of person. There have only been 3 Malay dramas that I've like actually committed some of my brain space to. So if you're not a JBC fan, if you're not into Malay dramas and things like that, here is what JBC is all about. So basically, it's kind of like a love triangle. Well, I don't know if you can call it a love triangle because it's between a married couple and this like other lady. So the main character is... I actually don't... Who is the main character? Just... Anyway, okay. So we have Shah, the guy, who is married to Fika, a kind of hot overseas graduate girl, and she's like a good wifey and everything. And somewhere along the line, this lady comes along by the name of Husna. Husna is like this kampong girl coming to the city. She wears tudung and everything, and like pretty, very fair, you know, like the classic Malay beauty like that. But she's... looks can be deceiving, honey. Looks can be deceiving. Basically, the entire series is... You know, the audience has been like, will they, won't they? Will Shah leave his wife? Will he marry Husna? Will he marry them both? Like, what is Fika gonna do? What is Husna going to do? And you've just been going back and forth between this. To be honest, I got into the series somewhere in the middle. I jumped in because my roommate, Miss Roy... I blame you, Miss Roy. I blame you for my involvement in this... this madness, which is JBC. I only watched like 4 episodes, and this is my problem, okay? This is why I don't watch TV anymore. I get really invested in the story of the characters that are in series. I mean, I don't watch Walking Dead anymore because after What's His Face kissed What's Her Name, I was like, nope, this is not happening. So I'm kind of like, I stay away from drama series because they tend to get ridiculous really fast. That was definitely the case with JBC. So these 4 episodes that I was watching, I mean, even before I watched the series and Miss Roy was telling me about what the whole series was about, I was like, ew, why? And then I watched the episodes and I was like, ew, why? So yesterday was the final episode, okay? So much drama went down in the last 2 episodes. It was just insane. Like a few episodes prior, Shah was like, look, I really love my mistress. I'm gonna divorce my wife and I'm gonna marry this like kampong tudong girl because I really love her. The wedding with Husna is on. Like, he has gone back to Husna's kampong and told like the makcik bawang there like, oh, we're getting married, by the way. Please come for the wedding. So he served his wife divorce papers. After so many months of trying, you know, to convince herself that her husband will be loyal to her, her husband will stay with her, when she finally gets the divorce papers, Fika is like, she snaps. Oh, by the way, I missed out this part. Yeah. When Shah announces that he's going to get married to his mistress, his wife flies off to Perth with a stranger. With this random character that was introduced in the last 7 episodes. Somewhere along the line, this is the part where I'm not watching because I don't have TV at home, we find out that Fika is actually pregnant. Pregnant with Shah's kid. And Shah, all of a sudden, is like, oh my god, I love my wife again. I have a baby. I'm gonna go back to my wife and my baby. Like, really? Hot and cold much? Like, you're so indecisive. He is a lalang. Oh my god, he's like the epitome of lalangness. And then Shah's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So he's like, okay, I'm gonna put this Husna girl on the back burner. She gets a bit psycho and tries to kill herself and slits her wrist. Okay, which brings us to the last episode. The last episode opens with Husna being in the hospital. Fika is in Perth when Husna is in hospital. Yes, I think so. And Shah going to visit her, and the doctor is asking like, oh, excuse me, mister, what's your relationship to the patient? And he's like, oh, I'm her fiancé. And the doctor's like, okay, can you come and see me for a minute? And she starts to tell him like, oh, the patient like just slit her wrist for attention. It wasn't really like a real suicide attempt, so she could be a little up there, right? And then we're still at the hospital. One of Shah's good friends, Faris, goes to see Husna and tries to convince her like, dude, you know, you gotta step away. Fika is pregnant. Shah's gonna go back to his wife. And this Husna girl is like, you know what, Faris? Once I get married to Shah, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to kick you out of his life. Okay? Remember this. This is important. And Faris is like, kau ni gila lah, kau ni kenapa lah, kau ni gila lah. And then he leaves, right? So now Shah is really conflicted because his wife is pregnant and then he's engaged to be married to this girl. And he's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Ah. So he ends up going to Perth to pursue his wife. While Fika is in Perth, maybe it's the Australian air, maybe it's the Australian cheese, but she gets a dose of like common sense or like a little bit of sensibility where you're like, oh my God, she's coming around. She might actually leave him. Because she goes, I don't know if I want to be with Shah. I mean, you know, it's not right. What he's doing to women is not right. Damn straight, girl. What he's doing ain't right. Like, that didn't sound right. He cheated on you as a husband. A shady husband. Like, why would you want to be with that? For a second, you think, yes, she's gonna dump his ass. And then Shah turns up in Australia and he's like, baby, I love you, baby. For the baby and you, my baby, I love you. Jom kita balik KL. And she's like, okay. I think he tried to convince her once and she was like, no, I don't want you. And he's like, macam mana ni? Macam mana Shazwi? Aku tak tahulah nak buat apa dengan perempuan. Like, typical. And the way he gets Fika to agree to go back to Malaysia with him is he pranks her. He pranked her. He was sitting on a pier and Fika's like, I don't want to be with you anymore. He's like, Fika, kalau awak tak nak balik Kuala Lumpur dengan saya terjun je dalam laut ni. And she's like, whatever. And she turns around and you hear this splash and the camera pans to the pier and Shah's gone and Fika's like, oh my God, Shah, where's Shah? And then he comes out behind her and is like, you still care, like, let's go back. And she's like, I can't. Just recapping it in my brain is like giving me a headache. So we go back to Malaysia. Husna, while they're in Perth, Shah calls Husna and is like, I'm done with you. We're not getting married. I'm going to be with my wife and my baby. And she is not happy, right? So when Shah and Fika get back to Malaysia, Husna is like, I'm going to go over there and claim my man. And she like goes over to Fika's parents' place and is like banging the door and is like, hey, perempuan plastic. It was quite cool. So she's like, wait, perempuan plastic, keluar lah. And then Fika and Shah arrive in a car. And then like Shah confronts Husna and Husna's like beating him up. And Fika, the wife, can't stand to see her husband getting beat up. So she like gets in the way. She's like, oh, Fika, I know. The dialogue makes me puke, I swear. She's like, oh, Fika, I know. You're lonely. I know that feeling. I've been there too. You're not crazy. And then Husna just like, this is kind of badass. I really liked it. She like pushes Fika to the ground and like steps on her stomach because, you know, baby, right? And then there's like strawberry jam that comes out of Fika's ass. I guess it's supposed to mean that she's bleeding. So she's hemorrhaging. Oh my god, you know. Shah is like, oh, what's going on? Husna's like, oh, what have I done? And the next scene is just in the hospital. Everyone's like, oh my god, what's going on? Oh my god, is Fika okay? Is the baby okay? And then the doctor's like, yeah, the baby's fine. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So the doctor's like, okay, yeah, your baby is fine, don't worry. And then everybody goes to Fika's room, and it's just a whole like apology session. Husna's like, I'm sorry, Fika, I couldn't control myself, please forgive me. And then Nekpa is like, shit, oh my god, this Nekpa is like, minta maaf nak, minta maaf, Nekpa sayang Fika. And then Shah also was like, oh Fika, aku dah banyak dosa dengan kau. Yeah, no, oh my god, it's just so dumb. It's so dumb. End of the story is Fika and Shah stay together. They have this baby, this miracle baby. The ending scene is Faris and Husna like going on a date together. Kau ingat? Here's why it doesn't make sense. In the final episode, right at the beginning, he confronted Husna and told her, like, you know what? Get out of Shah's life. You're a bad influence. How can you put Faris with Husna? It just doesn't make sense. Like, he should have been partnered up with Fika's good friend, like Damia, whatever her name is. Like, why? Why did you put Faris with Husna? Why? It just doesn't make sense. Okay, the next thing that didn't make sense. Fika's pregnancy, right? So I'm not even going to talk about the timeline, like when did they screw around, because there's so much drama. Like this guy is running off to meminang this Husna girl in her kampong. Like, where did you find time to bang your wife, right? The timeline doesn't line up. Anyway, in the last episode, we see Fika probably in the early stages of her pregnancy, probably like the first trimester probably. She gets full on pushed from standing up to falling down. She gets full on pushed to the ground by an angry, jilted ex-fiancé of her husband. Like that is a legit push. That's like a I'm really mad at you push, right? So she gets pushed to the ground, and then she gets stepped on. Like, you know, just really full on stepped on. Really? And there was blood. There was the strawberry jelly coming out from her ass. Like, really? And the baby survived? Okay, fine. In this crazy land, fine. It survived. Good for her. She's got a strong uterus that didn't get impregnated for the how many years that she and Shah were married for? Yeah. A few things don't line up. Anyway, such a long rant. So, to conclude, I think at the beginning of when I first watched the series, I was actually kind of intrigued. There were some positive points, for example, like having the controversial character as your main character. You know what the Malay perception is for free-haired people with dyed hair. I love that Fika, the main character, is free-haired and she has like bleached hair, you know. So that was quite progressive. That was really good. And putting the Tudong girl as the villain, I really liked that. That actually kind of like pulled me in. Like, this could be something here. But it went downhill so fast. It went downhill so fast. And the backlash. Can we talk about the backlash? Like, okay, the segment is called Drama La Sangat, and it's so apt because there's so much drama in this drama. It's ridiculous. But come on, the ending. In Tentang Dia, they were like, we're out of ideas. Let's kill everybody. In this one, they were like, we're out of ideas and money. Let's give everybody a happy ending. And they partnered up the most illogical pairs. I think what we deserve is the truth. Like, we deserve, to have reality. Is this reality? Like, even if you're a shitty person, you get a happy ending? Maybe it is reality. Huh. Well, if that's reality, then give me something that's not reality. I mean, Shah, he was bad to his wife that he cheated on. He was bad to his fiancée that he dumped pretty much at the altar, and he still got a happy ending. He still got his wife and his kid. That ain't right. Like, at least give him testicular cancer or something. Husna, the skank who stole another woman's man, a good woman's man, she's still alive. She still gets a date. She still gets a happy ending, Kill somebody, no one dies. Oh no, that's not true. You know who dies? A cancer patient. There was a character in the series. She's a cancer patient, a good lady, but she did. She died. Why couldn't we have Husna involved in an accident or something? Just something so that people get the sense that if you're a shit person, you get karma. Because now Shah's walking away with his baby. What are we telling the audience? Is that the kind of message that we want to put out there? Or with Husna, hey, it's okay for you to be a skank as long as you got a tudong on, and you will still have a happy ending. Really? Really? Is that the message that we want to put out there? So yeah, jangan bencikan cintaku. Jangan benci cintaku. I hate it. I hate it to hell and back. Okay? Please come up with better local dramas. Why not have, instead of having a Malay lead, why not have a Chinese or Indian lead? And have life from their perspective. I bet you'll be definitely more interesting. Are you kidding me? If this was a mama version, if there was a mama version of Jangan Benci Cintaku, the minute Shah was cheating on his wife, you know what his wife would do? She would cut his balls off. For sure. For sure. Or beat him up. Or just get the whole family in, It'll be a lot of drama. A lot of shouting too. So yeah. Freaking bencikan, jangan benci cintaku. And I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad that it's finally over. As stupid as it was, I'm so glad that I don't have to dedicate a portion of my brain to the end of this series. So thank you very much for watching. If you watched JBC, let me know what you think about the ending. Did you like it? It was suitable. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye.